Okay, so that takes care of that. We've still got 3 other reviews to do this week, Chris. Goodness gracious.
Well, I'm sorry. You're the one I was talking about.
Well, I mean, we've actually got things to review and things that we actually want to see here. Well, I wanted to see Top Gun. Now let's talk about something that I don't necessarily want to see. The Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers reboot that hit Disney Plus this past week. Now we're back to form here. Chris has seen it. I have not. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, Chris, you tell me about Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and let me know why in the world I should not be sending snot bombs into Disney headquarters over this film.
Oh, you can send as many snot bombs as you want to.
And I will too.
So, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie is basically, it is kind of like, what you said on the whole Top Gun thing. It's like, it's now, so Chip and Dale hasn't seen each other in I don't know how long. They're doing jobs separately. The Rescue Rangers is something of the past. There's a lot of old characters from old shows that does show up in this movie. And basically, so, alright, the plot of the whole thing. Okay? You ready for this? The plot is somebody is taking old characters from movies and television and redesigning their figure and putting them in straight to video bootleg rip-offs.
Somebody's being all art film schooly here.
And the thing is that the bad guy literally shows up at I would say probably 25 minutes into the movie. It's like they didn't spend too much time on just who's doing this? No, we already know who's doing this. And the person who's doing this is Peter Pan, the Coca-Cola polar bear dude, and the other guy I really don't know exactly what he's from. He looks familiar. He's like a dwarf. Looks like the dwarf from Beowulf or Lord of the Rings. But anyway, so they take Monterey Jack, and Chip and Dale have to get together, hunt him down, figure out what they did with him, try to stop Peter Pan, all that good stuff. There is live action, like real people and anime characters, also mixed with 3D characters. There's all kinds of characters in this movie. This is pretty much a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in a way. If that makes sense.
I can see that, yeah.
I actually like this world that they created because they do mention Nickelodeon characters and things like that. So I thought that was a pretty good touch. But one of the things that impressed me was this world. Every time they're driving on the highway, if you look in the background, there's miniature cars for small characters just driving on the highway. And it's like, wow. Like, that is this, great detail right there. It's great. The thing that I do and am shocked about what Disney was able to get away with in this movie. Like for instance, Ugly Sonic. Remember when everybody hated on Sonic in the first movie because of the way he looked, and they got rid of him and kind of designed. Well, he shows up in this movie. You would think he would be the bad guy, but not.
Now, is that the ugly Sonic?
Ugly Sonic, yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of characters, a lot of Easter eggs in this movie. I thought it was a good film. It was funny in a lot of parts. The nostalgia was great. But these are my two issues.
Mm-hmm.
What they did with Peter Pan, they used his background story, basically a ripoff of the actual actor who did the voice of the original Peter Pan. And I don't know if you know how that ended.
I've heard stories about it.
That I felt that was like below the belt for Disney to do that, because I just it was it distasteful, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And if a family member does not sue them for that, I'm surprised. But yeah, I did not like that. I also will say I'm trying to get used to voice actors that they choose, because I had this same issue with when they redid the whole DuckTales series, because it's like they took their voices and changed them, and I just couldn't get into the voices, but the show worked for me. This is the same thing. It's like they had Chip and Dale's voices were just really, like, one of them was done by Adam Sandberg, and he didn't change his voice for it. The other dude's just, I think it's the same dude that does the voice for Sonic. I'm not really for sure, but
I'm distracting him.
The voice just did not work for me, but I dug the show or the movie. They did leave it open for a sequel, and we'll see. It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it, if you want to try it out. A lot of people like it. A lot of people were just like, oh, okay. So yeah.
All right. Well, so out of a scale of 1 to 5, now we're over on streaming now. The scale of 1 to 5, 5 you would pay for it. 4 you would 5 you would actually get the subscription to pay for it. 4 you would pay for it on like DVD. 3 you would watch it on somebody else's account. 2 you would watch it on a free service, or 1 you wouldn't bother. Where would you put Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
3.
Give it a 3. Okay. So you'd watch it on somebody else's account.
Probably. It was on mine.
Here's the thing. It's no secret I use somebody else's account on Disney Plus. I won't say who, Chris. But the thing is, the account had lapsed, and this other person, Chris, told me that it had just started back up again. They just noticed and restarted it. I didn't even notice the Disney Plus was off. That shows how little I care about Disney Plus. This is the most I've talked about Disney Plus in a while. I said at the beginning, this sounds film schooly, and this sounds like somebody. There's a saying in Britain: too clever by half. Somebody who's a little too clever and comes up with a neat idea, and then it comes down to the execution. I have not watched this film, okay? Full disclosure, I haven't watched the film. Seriously doubt I'm going to watch the film, okay? Because I know what I remember about Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and I really don't need to have that memory raped by some wise-ass 20-something or 30-something who thinks he's making a point using an old franchise, okay? That means this is not a reboot. This is not a continuation. all this is an exploitation of an IP. This has nothing to do with Chippendale Rescue Rangers. The camaraderie is gone. The interactions are gone. The premise is gone. All of it blown away. So some wise acre can get a nice entry on his IMDb page. I will not be watching this film. I would give it a 1. And not even seeing it, just knowing this is another one of those films where somebody picked it up, wiped their butt with it, and then threw it on a streaming service somewhere. No thank you. Just on principle, I give it a 1. I will not watch this film. So, you liked it enough that you would watch it on somebody else's account. I wouldn't even watch it for free. So, there you go. That takes care of that one, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.